Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Dennis Brown. I'm the host of the Freight Broker Bootcamp Live that I do every Monday at noon. And today we're going to talk about how freight brokers find shippers. Matter of fact, I'm going to share with you 7 free resources, 7 different ways that you can find shippers starting today. That's what we're going to talk about today. That's the training. So here's the agenda. We're going to do a free giveaway, right? So we're going to do a quick free giveaway. So those of you that joined me a little bit early, awesome. Thank you for joining me. We're going to do a free giveaway. Maybe we'll give away a Freightpreneur t-shirt, maybe some cash. We'll see how much time we have. And then we're going to dive into the training, and I'm going to share those 7 resources. I'm going to walk you through them. And then we're going to do live Q&A at the end. That's the format, right? So I keep it really, really simple. I'm a pretty simple guy, so I like to keep things simple. So that's what we're going to do today. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me. We're letting a bunch of people get live. For those of you that are catching me on replay, hit me up in the comments with #replay. I love to hear from my replay folks. I know sometimes you can't break away in the middle of the day, and I can totally appreciate that. But thank you for joining me whenever you're joining me. It's greatly appreciated. I'm humbled that you're willing to tune in to the Freight Broker Bootcamp Live. I've done hundreds and hundreds of these lives over the years, training on all kinds of different topics. And today, again, we're going to talk about how freight brokers find shippers. And I'm going to actually walk you through 7 different resources on how we do that. Okay. So these are all free. These are all free. They're not going to cost you a boatload of money to try to find shippers or get leads or do any of that. All right. So we got a bunch of people that are joining us live. And again, I want to dive into the free giveaway to start, because we're going to do the giveaway, then we're going to do the training, then we're going to do live Q&A at the end for anybody who wants to stick around to the end. All right, so let's see. We got some people going live here, but we're going to give it another minute. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's just reflect for a minute. This weekend was Father's Day, so I had a great time. Family came over. We cooked out. We hung by the pool. We had a few cocktails, relaxed. It was nice weather. We had a great time. I hope you guys did the same. I hope you guys took some time off and kind of relaxed and reflected. We're going into the summer here, and summers are short. I'm in Buffalo, so summers are short for me. If you're down in the South, they might be a little longer, but for me, they're short, right? We get June, July, August, and then fall starts hitting, and then winter. So we had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed Father's Day. All the fathers out there, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Mothers too, but again, it's not Mother's Day. We already celebrated that, but thank you for tuning in. We're going to do the quick giveaway here in just uno momento. But why don't we let some people get live, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube or you're watching this on LinkedIn, wherever you're at. Okay. Truly appreciate you being here. Today is going to be a very cool training. It's not anything that you're going to find anywhere on YouTube. It's not even a training that I've ever done before. So this is totally new. I put these 7 free resources together because I get this question all the time. How do I find shippers? How do I find shippers in my niche? That sort of thing. So I wanted to give you kind of a simple set of resources that you guys could rely on and start using today, even if you don't have a lot of money to invest. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing. Why don't we get into the free giveaway? So I'm going to give away a Freightpreneur t-shirt, someone who solves problems you don't know you have in ways you can't understand. Now, lean in. Here's all you got to do to qualify for the giveaway. I'm going to give away one of these shirts. You have to be in the United States because I don't ship these things internationally. So if you're in the US, you have a chance to win. Here's all you got to do. Pull out your smartphone. All right. Wait, this first one's going to be for Apple users. Apple. If you're on Apple, what I want you to do, if you have an Apple phone, I want you to pull out the smartphone. I want you to pull up your Apple Podcast app, and then I want you to go to and search for Freight Broker Bootcamp. You will see a logo. Well, actually, you can't see it very good there, but you'll see a logo, although you can't see it. You'll see the Freight Broker Bootcamp logo. You'll see my bald, shiny head, and that's the Freight Broker Bootcamp podcast. All I want you to do, listen very carefully. Subscribe, rate, and review. Listen. 3 things you got to do. Take you 60 seconds. Subscribe. That means you got to hit follow or subscribe. Then you got to rate it 1 through 5. It takes 0.3 seconds to do that. And then write a short review about Freight Broker Bootcamp podcast or the Freight Broker Bootcamp training or your experience with Freight Broker Bootcamp. It'll take another 15 seconds to do that. And then come back in here. Now, this is for Apple users. We're going to do a different one for other people. But for Apple users, come back into the comments wherever you're at on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, and let me know that you rated, reviewed, you subscribed, rated, and reviewed on Apple. You got to say subscribed, rated, reviewed Apple. Okay. But you got to do all those things. Come back into the comments, let me know, and that's going to qualify you. I'm going to pick one winner for the t-shirt from whoever comes back in here and does it. Now it's an honor system, but I can't ask you, before I send out the shirt to prove that you actually did it. I don't want to do that. So it's an honor system. All right. But here's all you got to do. Go into your iPhone, pull up your podcast app, just search for podcast. It's a purple icon. Click on it, search for Freight Broker Bootcamp. You'll see the logo, my bald, shiny head. And all you got to do is subscribe, rate, and review. It'll take you 60 seconds to do that. Come back in, comment below in the comments, whether that be, again, on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're at, LinkedIn, wherever it is. And I will try to pick one lucky winner for the Freightpreneur t-shirt. Okay, so that's all you got to do. Let's see what we got. How many people do we have that, and just so you guys know, the podcast is a free app with free audio only content, meaning you can listen to this when you're driving. You can listen to it when you're working out, walking the dogs, on the treadmill, hanging out by the pool, whatever you're doing. It's the best of the best of the best training that I've done in the last decade. And it's audio only format. So, you don't need to really hone in on a video. I mean, YouTube's great. Don't get me wrong. But there's a place for audio, and it's become one of the most popular freight and logistics podcasts in the country. And matter of fact, we're in the top 100 out of all entrepreneur podcasts. So let's see what we got. Who's got, all right. How many people we got? All right, guys. So hit me up in the comments. For some reason, I'm not seeing Julia. Done isn't going to work. Subscribed, rated, reviewed Apple. Subscribe, rated, review Apple. You got to put that in there. And I have to have it like that because I can't pick a winner from done. I got to know exactly what you did. If you do it right, you may be the only person who actually enters and you could be guaranteed to win the shirt. But I need you to do that now because we're only going to be able to probably do one giveaway because it's taken so long for everybody to wake up this morning. It seems like everybody's a little sleepy this morning. All right. I want to start the training try to start the training right on time at noon. You guys joined early and I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. But if you guys want a chance to win the t-shirt, all you got to do, Apple users, subscribe, rate, and review, come back in here, say subscribed, rated, reviewed, Apple. Okay. Just like Barrick did, just like Kim did, just like Thomas did. Okay. So Julia, make sure you come back in here and say subscribed, rated, reviewed, Apple. Okay. And then you'll qualify. And I'm going to be giving away one of these free t-shirts. Again, Freightpreneur, someone who solves problems you don't know you have in ways you can't understand. I'll ship it out to you for free. You'll get it in the next week to 2 weeks. Okay. So thank you everybody for playing along. Subscribe. Okay, good. Rated, reviewed Apple. I'm one of your students. Awesome. Thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right. So one more minute, then we're going to do the giveaway. So you got 1 more minute to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple. Again, it's an honor system. You got to be in the US in order to win. And then what I will do is I'll have this shirt shipped out to you. You'll get it in probably the next week to 10 days, realistically, once I get your information after you win. And I hope you do win. I've given away hundreds of these shirts, by the way. Everybody asks me, will you sell them? Do you sell them? I'll be honest with you. I don't want to get in the shirt business. It's not something I'm really interested in getting into the shirt business at this point. So putting swag out there and apparel out there, just, it's not a high priority for me. But I do like to give them away because people love them. So, okay. All right. So let's do the giveaway. Let's do the first giveaway. All right. So here's what I do. My very non-scientific method. I scroll over to the comments. I close my eyes. I scroll down through and I point my mouse to one, and wherever it randomly lands, today it landed on Thomas Barnes. Thomas Barnes is the winner of the Freightpreneur t-shirt. Subscribed, rated, reviewed on Apple. He followed instructions perfectly. Thank you so much, Thomas, for playing along. Here's all you got to do to claim the shirt. Go to my Freight Broker Bootcamp Facebook page. Okay, on Facebook. Like the page, and then you got to message me your full name, your full mailing address, and your size. Okay. So your full name, your full mailing address, and your size. Okay. And these are unisex sizing, so they're pretty true to size. And I will ship you off one of these shirts in the next, you'll get it within the next week to 2 weeks. Again, I do need to get that here in the next, you need to send that to me in the next 24 hours so that I can process that. Otherwise, it's, it could get lost, and then all of a sudden you're not going to get your shirt. Then you're going to message me a month or two later and say, oh, I didn't get my shirt. Well, you forgot to message me and all that. So do that now. Okay. Go to the Freight Broker Bootcamp Facebook page, like the page, and then message me your full name, address, and your size. And I'll make sure I send that off to you. You'll get it within about a week to 2 weeks. So congratulations, Thomas Barnes, for winning the Freightpreneur t-shirt. So we don't have enough time to do another giveaway right now for everybody outside of Apple, but here's what I promise. Don't worry, everybody who's not on Apple, I'm going to give you a chance to win. Okay. But I'll do it after the training, between the training and the frequently, and the the Q&A. Okay. So I'm going to do the training. Then we're going to do another giveaway for everybody else. And then we'll do the Q&A. All right. So for now, why don't you guys let me know where you're logging in from? Hit me up in the city and state that you're logging in from. I'm in the Buffalo, New York area, lifelong resident. Usually we have people from all over the place. We'll get a bunch of people from Florida and Texas and Georgia and Illinois and Canada and even other countries, Central America, all over the place. I mean, Australia, UK, Germany, we have people from all over the world join these lives. So let me know where you're logging in from, and I'll try to give you a quick shout out. We've got 2Connect Direct from Orlando, Florida, Trap Media from Harlem, New York, Robinson from Orlando. Oh, geez, I blew that. Next Links from Valley Stream, New York. Aisha from Atlanta. Aman from Sweden. That's amazing. I love it. Julia from Newcastle, Delaware. A Facebook user with no name from Miami, Florida. 1K Logistics from Orlando. Jamal Simmons from Houston. Barrick from Fontana, California. Boy, we got a lot of people in here. Holy cow. Devin from Markham, Illinois. Carlin from Fort Lauderdale. Or Carline Charles from Fort Lauderdale. Ozan from Lincoln, Nebraska. Brenda from Franklin, Tennessee. Wilhelmy from Wichita, Kansas. Michelle from Little Rock, Arkansas. Joe Almighty from Florida. Jackie from Carteret, New Jersey. Darren from Texas, usually, but in Horseheads, New York today. Whitney Williams from Houston. Derek from Little Rock. Project Nerdvana from Queens, New York. Franklin from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Brett Taylor from San Diego. Andy from Fontana, California. Ray Rad from Bloomington, Illinois. B. Grant 50 from Jacksonville, Florida. Brenda Koger from Chicago, Illinois. If I missed your name, I apologize. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you guys being here. We're almost at the top of the hour. We're going to start the training in a minute, but here's the agenda, guys. Today, for those of you that are catching me a little bit late or you missed the intro, today I'm going to share with you a training on how freight brokers find shippers. And I'm going to share with you 7 resources. As a matter of fact, they're all free resources that you can use to start finding shippers today. Okay. That's the training topic. Then we're going to do a quick giveaway, and then we're going to do live Q&A. So you can ask me any questions that you want. I'll answer as many questions as I can in the time allotted. Okay. So that's the basic format. So for now, here's what I recommend. Turn off your notifications. Okay. If you're not watching this on your phone, shut off your phone. If your office door is open, close your office door, right? Let everybody know that for the next 45 minutes to an hour, you're going to be busy because you're going to be learning and you're going to be involved in a training that literally could have a huge impact on your business, on your life. Whether you're a startup or you're an established freight broker, it really doesn't matter. These tools that I'm about to share with you, these strategies and tools that I'm about to share with you could literally be the difference between success and failure in your business, right? So again, I'm going to share with you 7 free resources that you can leverage to start finding shippers for your business today, no matter what niche you're in, okay? All right. So we got a bunch of people, a lot more people. Zamira from New Jersey. We got a whole bunch of people that are live. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're here. And again, let me grab a quick drink before we get started. Then we're going to jump into the training. We're going to let some people get live because normally these don't start till noon. So we're going to let a few more people get in here live. And then we are going to hit the ground running and do this live training. So, man, okay, so we got Madison from Winterset, Iowa, Zamira from Newark, New Jersey, Monique from Houston. Man, we got people from all over the place. All right. All right, so one more question before we start with the training. How many of you in this live are already paid members of my Freight Broker Bootcamp online course? Hit me up in the comments. Let me know. I'm curious how many of my students are actually on this live today. So hit me up in the comments and let me know, if you're already a student of Freight Broker Bootcamp. Now, just so you guys know, for those of you that don't know, there's probably a lot of people on here that have never been on here before. Freight Broker Bootcamp is the most cost-effective and comprehensive online freight broker training program available for anybody interested in becoming a freight broker or freight agent. Been in business over a decade. We've trained over 10,000 students. I personally have done over $200 million as a freight broker. And again, we offer a 60-day, 100% unconditional money-back guarantee if you're not happy for any reason. So some of the students that are here today, let's see who we got. Jomo Mighty's a platinum member. Yeah, we got a whole bunch. K Logistics is a student. High Octane. Aisha is in. Ray Rad's a student. Carlin Charles is a student. Jamal Simmons, Rashawn, Devin, B. Grant, Barrick. So we've got a bunch. I'd say more than half of the people that are live here today are probably students. So if you're not a student and you're curious about becoming a freight broker, freight agent, just check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. It has all the information there. You can get enrolled and literally start your training today. You don't have to wait for some core, for some class or some instructor or something like that. You get access to all the training, instant access, 24/7, 365. All right. Michael's a student. Tony's a student. Okay, cool. All right. So I think you guys get the point. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Today, I'm going to share with you how freight brokers find shippers. Now, this is a very important question, and it's a frequently asked question by many of my students. All right. So I'm going to share with you seven free resources that you can start leveraging today to find shippers in your niche. All right. So in order to do that, I think the best way we can try to do this here is I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to walk you through all 7 of these resources. I'm going to actually share it with you. So let's see what we can come up with. Let me see if I can do it this way. Give me 1 second. And I think I'm going to be able to do it this way. Hold on 1 second. Bear with me just 1 second. Okay. Share screen, window, Chrome tab. Oh boy. Let's see. All right. So we'll do this. All right. So you all probably recognize this. This is Google. Google is one of the best ways, the fastest ways, and a free way for you to actually start finding your shippers. A very simple way to do that is for you, if, for example, you're in the steel industry and you're looking for steel companies, you can simply do steel companies, Buffalo, New York. That's where I'm located. And you can see here that there's a bunch of steel companies that are coming up. Alp Steel Corp, Metal Supermarket Steel, Gench Company. If I click on this, there's a whole list of companies here using Google as a free resource, as one of the easiest, fastest free resources that you can use to find shippers. Super, super simple, right? Can't make it much easier than that. So Google is number 1 on the list. All right. Secondly, let's see what the second one is here. All right. Let's share. Sorry, it's a little clunky here, but let's see. The second one on the list that we're going to share is ThomasNet. Now, thomasnet.com is an online directory, right? That to find suppliers and insights and tools. So for example, if you're looking again, if say for example, you're looking in the plastics industry, right? You can click or search for plastics, and there's a whole bunch of other variables you can put in there, but you can search for plastics and it's going to give you an entire list of plastic companies. You can click on it. You can view those companies, right? You can view their address. You can view the link to their website, boom, pull up their website. And then all of a sudden now you've got all their information, right? So that's an example of how you can use ThomasNet as another resource to find shippers, right? So first we did Google. You can do a free search based on your niche or some keywords or some geography. The second one we talked about was ThomasNet, which is another great resource, right? For you to be able to find shippers. All right, number 3, let's see what else we got here. Where'd we go? All right, here we go. All right, sorry, it's been, for some reason, I'm a little clunky today here with navigating. So we're going to do this Chrome tab. We're going to do the entire window, and we're going to do it this way. Okay, and then we're going to close this off, and we're going to go to oh man, I'm blowing it here, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about the clunkiness here. What was this third one? All right, so we'll do the third one. We'll just pull it up here. The third one is LinkedIn, right? So you're going to log into your LinkedIn account. LinkedIn is the world's largest professional networking site. If I don't forget the password here, okay? So LinkedIn, oh boy, now I'm going to have to log in through here. All right, no big deal. Let's see what we got. We got to hit I got to put in this code here. 824263. See, I thought I was all prepared, and I guess I wasn't today. So I apologize, but LinkedIn is a free resource. It's the world's largest professional networking site. So what happens is if you get a free account here, you can come in here and you can search by company name, you can search by industry, you can search by job title, you can search by almost anything you want. So let's say, for example, we search for steel companies, or we search for steel, and then we search for shipping manager. And I click that quick search. And what you're going to find is if I do a people search, it's going to come back with 521 results. Now you can see there are different steel companies. Now, if this was your niche steel, or if you're in produce, or you're in oil and gas, or you're in whatever building supplies or plastics or whatever your niche is, you can see how you can scroll down through and you can easily and quickly find different prospects, not only different companies, but actual prospects, shipping managers that work in those specific industries. So number 3 on the list is LinkedIn. All right, number 4. So number 4 on the list, what we're going to show you is top U.S. retailers 2020. So here's a list of the top 100 retailers, the 2020 list. Now, this is a list of retailers that sell products to consumers, right? So you're all familiar with Walmart. You're all familiar with Kroger and Costco. These are actual retail locations, right? Walgreens, Home Depot, Target, Lowe's, Albertson. Well, just imagine if you walked into your local Lowe's company and you went and you walked down one aisle. Just imagine walking down the aisle of one of your local Lowe's, all right, which sells all kinds of building supplies. There will literally be hundreds of products on each one of those aisles. And if all you did was grab one of those products, pick it up, look at the name of the manufacturer, look at the address, maybe take a picture of it with your cell phone or jot it down, whatever you decide to do. I would just take pictures of them with my cell phone probably because it's going to be that much easier. Just imagine how many leads you could find. Just imagine how many different shippers you could find in your specific niche. Now, I used Lowe's as an example because I was just there the other day and bought some lumber for a gardening project that I'm helping my wife with. But imagine if it were Best Buy, or imagine if it were Aldi's or Dollar General or Macy's or Dollar Tree or Kohl's or any of these different retailers, right? Imagine all these different retailers that you could go in there and you could see all the different products that are up and down the aisle. One of the things that we used to do a lot of is I just go to the grocery store. Around here, we have a Tops grocery store, right? Tops is a big brand around here for grocery store. We'd walk down the aisle, we'd pick up products, we'd see what it was. We'd take it, back then we didn't have pictures, we probably didn't have cell phones when I first started doing this. We would just jot it down on a piece of paper. And then we would research those companies and we would contact them and let them know, how we found them and where they were and how we came across their brand. And we would start a dialogue with them. So, those are some examples. There's another example of that's number 3 on the list. All right. Number 4. So we went over Google, we did Thomasnet, we did LinkedIn, then we did retail stores. That was number 4. Now we're going to talk about trade shows. All right. Top trade shows in the US. All right. So trade shows in the US. All right. So here's up and coming top 30 trade shows in the US. Let's look at manufacturing. So trade shows is where industry specific niches will gather to basically share their products and services and education and information, right? So if you were to go to trade shows, here's a list of the top trade shows for 2022 in the manufacturing category. You can go to these trade shows and you can visit hundreds of different booths, hundreds of different manufacturers, hundreds of different providers of different products in your specific niche, whether that niche be in marine fabrication, whether that niche be in the fertilizer and chemical industry like this one, whether that niche, whatever those niches are, right? You can, the Iowa Lumber Convention, whatever it is, you can go there and you can actually press the flesh, network, and meet and connect with people that are working directly for that company. Number 1, you can learn more about their product. Number 2, you can start a dialogue. Number 3, you can start generating leads to find shippers. Again, the whole goal here was to present you 7 different resources that you could leverage for finding shippers. So we went over Google, we went over Thomasnet, we went over LinkedIn, we went over retail stores, we went over trade shows. Here's an example of some of a list of trade shows. Number 6 on the list is associations. So I did a quick search. For steel associations, right? In the steel industry, because again, that was a big industry that we were involved in. And when I click on this, the Steel Manufacturing Association comes up. Now, I've never heard of this before, but when I click on it and I go to members, you see a list of all of their members, right? These are producer member list. So it's got Alton Steel and Akron Steel and Big River Steel and Bayer Steel. And it even shows the geography of where they're located, right? Based on these pins and these maps. And then if you were to click on it, it actually will give you the address. And I'm sure that if you did a quick search, you could pull that up online, pull up their website, get their contact information, and very quickly build a lead list of steel manufacturers, steel producers that are in this association, right? So associations are another source. And then last but not least, this is one that nobody thinks of the Inc. 5000. Now, the Inc. 5000 is run by Inc. Magazine, and it is a list of the top 5,000 fastest growing privately held companies in America. Okay. Now, I know this list very personally because my company, my logistics company, was ranked on this list while I own the company like 5 or 6 times. Since then, it's continued to get ranked as one of the top fastest growing logistics companies. But beyond logistics, they also have industries that are involved with manufacturing. So if you click on manufacturing, if you go to the Inc. 5000 and you click on manufacturing, you have a list of the fastest growing manufacturing companies in the United States. This company, Nugget, never heard of it, designs, manufactures, and sells modular furniture, playful designs for children. Dynamic blending specialist. I have no idea. Provides turnkey contract manufacturing services for personal care products. So they're a contract packager. GoProto provides turnkey plastic and metal parts manufacturing products, which include industrial design, model. Do these companies sound like they might need logistics, shipping, transportation, freight management? Yes, they do. All of them. They're all manufacturers. Okay. And these are the fastest growing manufacturers in the United States. Okay. So those are literally the 7. I hope you guys could actually see that screen that I was on. But those are the 7. Okay. Those are the 7 free resources I wanted to share with you because I get this question all the time. How do I find shippers in my niche? And again, I shared with you 7 resources. Number 1 was Google. That's a free resource. Number 2, ThomasNet. That's another free resource. Number 3, LinkedIn. That's another free resource. Number 4 is retail stores. You could do that search for top retail stores in the United States. They'll give you a whole list of those. Trade shows was another one that I gave you, was number 5. Number 6 is associations, because a lot of times they'll list their members. And number 7 was the Inc. 5000, which is an award and a list that Inc. magazine puts together every year, right? And that list changes every year. So from year to year, you're going to get a new list. People are going to be added to that list. Some people are going to be dropped off that list. But I like the Inc. 5000 because it's the fastest growing manufacturers in the United States. Now, when you have a fast growing company in the manufacturing space, you stand out because, again, manufacturing, we're not the hub for manufacturing that we once were. So if you're a fast growing manufacturer, obviously that's someone who's going to need some help, right? Absolutely no question they're going to need some help. So I hope you guys enjoyed that list of 7 free resources on how to find shippers as a freight broker. Again, if you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, whether that be on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're at. Make sure you subscribe. Truly appreciate you guys being here. And if for some reason, if you're looking for freight broker training or looking to start as a freight agent, check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. We offer the most cost-effective, most comprehensive online freight broker training program. Been in business well over a decade, trained over 10,000 students, and we offer a 60-day, 100% unconditional money-back guarantee. If for any reason you're not happy with the training, just send us a message. We'll refund it in the first 60 days. So thank you guys for joining me. Again, we are going to now do, that's the end of the training, but we're going to do a free giveaway. And then we are going to do live Q&A. So stick around. I apologize if that presentation was a little bit clunky. Okay. I was trying to navigate between different screens and, on my Mac, it didn't work out quite the way I wanted to, but hey, listen, you got to roll with the punches. That's how it works. Right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. But again, those are the 7 resources. These are all free, right? Remember, Google, ThomasNet, LinkedIn, retail stores, trade shows, associations, and Inc. 5000. Those are 7 free resources you could literally start using today to find shippers in your niche, whatever that niche may be. Okay. So, all right. Love getting with you guys when things are slow. Okay. Thanks for the 7 resources. Very helpful. Good. All right. So we are going to do a free giveaway. So hang tight here for a second, and then we're going to do live Q&A. Now hold your questions, because if you type your questions in now, I'm not going to see them, and that means I'm going to miss them. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a giveaway. Here's all you have to do. Let me share with you what you got to do. Super simple. In order for you to qualify for this next giveaway, I'm going to give away another t-shirt. No momento here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Here's all you got to do. Go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/freight brokers, whether you're on your cell phone, whether you're on your desktop, wherever you're at. Go there. And what I want you to do is click the subscribe button and then hit the all notifications bell. There's a little bell that gives you the ability to get notified, to hit all notifications. So if you subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the all notifications bell, come back in here into the comments and let me know that you subscribed on YouTube and you hit the all notifications bell. You got to let me know. Subscribe with all notifications on YouTube, and you're going to qualify to win one of these shirts. Now, you got to be in the United States. I apologize for everybody who's not in the United States. The majority of the people here are obviously in the U.S. But yeah, I don't ship these things international. It's just a huge pain in the butt. So maybe I'll try to do something different for you guys in the future. But yeah, ultimately, this is the Freightpreneur t-shirt. Someone who solves problems you don't know you have in ways you can't understand. In order to qualify for a chance to win this shirt, all you got to do is go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell, and then come back in here in the comments and let me know that you did that. And then I'm going to pick one winner. Now, you can't say Montez. You can't say done. You can't say I did it. You got to say subscribed on YouTube and hit all notifications bell. Okay. Subscribe with all notifications bell on YouTube. You got to let me know that, because I'm going to randomly pick a winner, and done doesn't mean anything to me. Okay. It doesn't define you as someone who's done that. All right. I know I'm a little picky about that, but I really have I have a pet peeve about following instructions. So subscribed on YouTube and hit the all notifications bell. That's all you got to let me know in the comments. And then I will pick a winner, and then we're going to do live Q&A, but hold tight on your questions. Okay. You got to hold tight on your questions, because I will miss them if you type them in now. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So we got a bunch of people that are subscribing on YouTube. Again, there's over 100 free training videos on that YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has better content than 95% of all of the paid courses that are out there. Okay. And I say that with all humility, because I know who's out there. I know what they offer. Right. And it's not that they're bad guys. They've just never built, most of them have never built a real business. Okay. And when I mean a real business, I'm talking about something significant, right? I've been fortunate. I built 4 different businesses, 7-figure businesses in 4 different industries. The logistics just happened to be the largest one, where I did over $200 million as a freight broker. So my experience level is a little bit different than what you're seeing with a lot of other people who have built maybe a small business where they were doing $500,000 or $1 million a year. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a very different level of skill set and experience about scaling a business into a large scale and making it highly profitable, where you're literally sticking over $1 million a year in your pocket. There's a big difference between doing $1 million in gross and $1 million in profit, right? That's real money. Okay. All right. So subscribe, make sure you guys subscribe. I'm going to do the giveaway real quick. All right. Yes. Oh yeah. Monique, please. Yeah. Make sure you guys hit the like button wherever you're at. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, wherever, hit the like button right now. That's the price of admission. And then share the stream. And I'm going to do the giveaway right now. So let me just scroll down through here really quick. My very non-scientific way of doing the giveaway. I'm going to point, and Devin Coleman subscribed on YouTube and hit the all notifications bell, followed instructions perfectly. Devin, you are the winner of the Freightpreneur t-shirt. Thank you so much. Here's all you got to do. Go to my Freight Broker Bootcamp Facebook page, like the page, and then message me your full name, your mailing address, and your size. These are unisex sizing, small, medium, large, extra large, whatever you need. Let me know, and then I will ship that off to you. You'll get it in the next week to 2 weeks. Again, just go to the Freight Broker Bootcamp Facebook page, like the page, message me through that page with your full name, your address, and your size, and I'll make sure that gets out to you. Truly appreciate everybody playing along, and there's no losers in that situation, because if you did subscribe to the channel, you're going to get notified of all the new training videos that come out every single week. Plus, there's over 100 videos on there that you can check out at your convenience whenever you want. And I put them into different playlists. Some of them are on mindset. Some of them are on Freight Broker sales strategies, on marketing, on, we've got student success stories and interviews. We got all kinds of, we got the top mistakes. We've got all these different playlists in here that you should really check out. The playlists are really powerful because it gives you an entire series based upon something very specific that you want to learn at that time. So I would highly recommend that. All right. All right, cool. So here we go, guys. Let's jump into some Q&A. So for those of you that have questions, whether it be about this training that we did today, or becoming a freight broker or a freight agent, or whatever challenges you're having or issues you're having or questions or uncertainty or whatever it is, hit me up in the comments with the questions and I will do my best. Here's what I can promise you. I will not get to everybody's question today. I never do. There's way too many questions and just not enough time. I will do my best to get to as many as I can. If I can't get your question today, I will try to come back in the comments later in the week and try to answer those questions. And for whatever reason, if I don't get back to you, come back next week and ask the questions. Try to be one of the first people that ask the questions, and you usually will get an answer, or I'll try to do my best. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so here's a question from Next Links. How would you know your niche when you're new and just starting as a freight broker? Okay, well, you wouldn't necessarily know what your niche is going to be if you're new and you have no experience. But I teach a 4-part framework on how to develop your niche. But before even debating on that 4-part framework, one of the things that I find people do really well with in their niche is when they have some past experience in a niche and or they have an affinity towards a niche. So let's say, for example, you worked in the produce industry. Maybe you worked for a grower, or you bought or sold produce, or you were somehow associated with the produce industry, growing, fruits and vegetables, right? So if you had some sort of a past in that, having that experience can work really well in developing out a niche in the freight brokerage, because you know the lingo, you know the information. That's number one, okay? But I teach and whether that be produce or steel or plastics or import, export, or whatever niche you decide to do, or whatever your past life experience is, sometimes that past life experience can translate well into a freight broker niche. Now, it's not always a requirement, but that does work really well. I teach a 4-part framework. There's really 4 ways you can develop a niche. You can develop a niche by industry. So you want to focus in on the produce industry or the steel industry. You can develop a niche based on equipment. You can say, hey, I want to focus in on van loads. I want to focus in on refrigerated temperature control or flatbeds, right? That's based on equipment. The other one is based on geography. So let's say, for example, you want to focus on Texas outbound freight or Northeast outbound freight, or cross-border freight, from US to Canada or Canada to the US. That's based on geography. So that's the 3rd component. And then the 4th one is really a hybrid of 2 or more of those. So when I first started, everybody knows, you probably heard my story, I did van Northeast outbound freight. So if it originated in New York or PA, New Jersey, all the way up through New England, if it picked up in a van anywhere in that area and went west or south, that was my niche, right? That's how I started my niche. And then we expanded into flatbed in that region. And then we expanded into refrigerated in that region. And then we jumped into some other regions. So developing your niche, that's the 4-part framework that I teach to develop your niche. And I think it can serve you extremely well. So I hope that helps. Good question. Rashawn, would you advise posting the rate on a load board? These days, I guess it depends on, this is really a debate. Me personally, I probably would post the rate. Okay? I probably would post the rate. So here's the qualifier. If there's not a lot of trucks available based upon a specific lane or a specific load, then I might not post the rate, because I want to draw as many calls as I can and have a discussion with those carriers to try to negotiate the rate. If there are a lot of availability of trucks in any given lane, then I would probably post the rate, because I want to filter out the people that I don't necessarily want to talk to. If my rate is 2,000 and they're looking for 3,000, I don't want to waste time talking to those people if we're too far apart. But if my rate is 2,000 and someone wants 2,100 and that, they're willing to negotiate, then I definitely want to talk to those people. So the answer to your question is this. Let me just summarize it. If there's a lot of availability of equipment in a specific lane, or there's a lot of demand for trucks for loads in that lane, then I would probably post the rate. If there's not a lot of demand and there's more loads than there are trucks, then I would probably not post the rate. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so Trap Medic Beats asks, have you known anyone that's involved in DoD freight? I just got my broker approved last week as an agent. You have to be your own ship. Oh, you have to be your own shippers. Okay. So yeah, we did DoD freight. We worked with the SDDC. We did millions of dollars a year in freight with the SDDC. There are all kinds of different government divisions. There's GSA. there's SDDC, there's FEMA, there's all kinds of different divisions. They all have different requirements in order to become an approved broker or an approved carrier. Most of them will require 3 years of brokerage experience, having your broker authority for 3 years before you can apply. Maybe not all of them, but most of them are that way in my recollection. But yeah, you'll work with those shippers and all those different shipping locations the same way as you'd work with any big shipper, although they do have kind of an antiquated and difficult bidding process. Their bidding process is very formulaic and technical in nature. So much so that we had people that specialized in doing DoD bids, because in order to enter those bids, you got to know specific codes and specific sequences and specific process. It's not as easy as just saying, hey, it's a van load picking up in Buffalo going to Atlanta. Here's, here's the rate, $2,000. It's not that simple. So there's a little bit more complexity to the bids, but I will tell you, the government is one of the largest shippers in the world. They have tons of freight they're moving at any given point. They spend a ton of money. And the cool thing is that in most cases, in my experience, they pay you very, very fast for a very small fee. So for like 1 or 1.5%, they'll pay you in 72 hours, right? So they pay really, really quick. All right. So yeah, government can be great if you've already got your authority for a period of time, because you're going to probably have to have that authority for at least 3 years. And there may be some other requirements, but the DoD and other government freight, GSA, FEMA, and those sorts of organizations can be really great shippers. And congrats for getting approved. All right. I'm not sure I understand this question, but let me try to break it down, Stacy. Port short, loaded a truck. Now customer is not wanting to work with me. How should I try to get back in the door? First mistake in 6 years with them. Okay, the port short loaded a truck. Okay, so they short loaded. So they didn't include the full load. Okay. And the driver didn't catch it because for whatever reason, he didn't catch the mistake by the port. And so now the shipper is blaming you for short loading the truck. Okay, got it. Well, if this is the first mistake you've made in 6 years, they must be feeling quite a bit of pain associated with it. So what you got to think about is this. You got to think about, put yourself in the customer's shoes. What type of ripple effects did this cause the customer? How big of an issue is this for the customer? Is this a big issue, a small issue? Could they potentially lose a very large client because of your mistake, right? I understand you've only made this mistake in 6 years, and I would think that they would be willing to work with you in a situation like this. But my focus would be this. First of all, own it. Whenever you make a mistake, own it. Don't push the blame off. Don't blame somebody else. Own it. Because here's what happens is when you own the mistake, it's very hard for people to be mad at you after you own it, right? Because you're taking ownership of it. When you fight it and say, well, yeah, but it was his fault or her fault or his fault or she's, if you point fingers, all of a sudden now you're deflecting, right? And it becomes an argument at that point. But if you own it, that's number one. Number two, explain to them what happened and how you are going to ensure that this doesn't happen in the future. So put a corrective plan, an action plan in place on how you're going to prevent this from happening in the future, because you understand where the breakdown was, you understand how to correct it, and here's exactly why they can count on you, right? And then from there, what you want to do is you want to explain to them and let them know what you just said to me. We've had a 99% success rate when working with you. We've moved X number of loads over the last 6 years. And with those loads, we've never had this happen before. So this is a true anomaly. But again, I'm not pushing blame off. We made a mistake. We now know what the mistake is, and we know exactly how to fix it. And here's how we're going to handle it, right? So that would be the type of mindset, that would be the type of process that I would go through with them. Now, I can't give you the exact words because I don't know the shipper. I don't know your exact relationship. And, and it's very difficult to hypothecate that. But I can tell you that would be the basic framework of what I would be working through with them. Now, if you can get them on the phone, great. If you can get with them face to face, even better. But worst case scenario, in a complete fallback, if they've kind of ghosting you at that point, then you can try to start doing some of this via email. But I would try to get face to face with them. So I hope that helps, Stacy. Okay, so here's a question from Ozan. I want to be an agent and create an LLC. So first, I'm creating the LLC and then applying for agent forms and process. Okay, so Ozan, if you want to be a freight agent, which means you'll be working under a licensed freight broker, it probably is a smart idea to get an LLC because it's going to, number one, give you some tax benefits. Number two, it's going to limit your liability in the event there was ever an issue. Okay. So it is probably a good idea to have an LLC as an agent. It's not a requirement for most, it's not a legal requirement. You can operate as an independent contractor without an LLC, but some brokers will require you to have an LLC, and it's probably a smart idea. Now, you said, so first I'm creating the LLC and then applying for an agent forms and process. I'm not sure what you mean by agent forms and process. If you have the LLC in place, then at that point, and you've got your training in place and you've got everything you need in order to get started, at that point, you're going to reach out to freight brokers, licensed freight brokers, and you're going to propose your partnership, your independent freight agent partnership with them. Because again, you're going to be freight agents work in partnership with licensed freight brokers on a commission only basis. They typically make somewhere between 50 and 70% of the profit on every load. So I'm not sure what you mean by agents, forms, and process. You don't need to have, as a freight agent, you do not need to get your freight broker license. You do not need a freight broker bond. You do not need a freight broker authority. You do not need freight broker insurance. You do not need any of that. Literally, you can get started as an agent on pennies, right? You need internet access, a phone, and a broker to work under. And at that point, you can start as an agent. Literally, maybe a load board or two in order to cover the loads, of course, but it's really minuscule what you need in order to get started as a freight agent. So I hope that helps. If you have a follow-up question that I missed, feel free to type it in the chat box. Okay, so Rajinder asks, how long can it take when onboarding new carriers when starting out? Do you call carriers first or check their safety rating first? If you're calling carriers off a load board specific for a load, you call the carriers first. Call and try to negotiate with them first, or try to make contact with them first. And then once you've gotten to an agreement, then you can go through a basic vetting process. The basic vetting process is this. Number one, you got to make sure they have their carrier authority, right? And that it's active and in good order. Number two, you got to make sure that they have their carrier insurance. They have the proper liability and cargo insurance to be legal and to cover your freight. Number three, you're going to want to check their safety history, right? So you want to check their carrier safety rating, if they have a conditional rating or no rating or whatever their rating is, right? Satisfactory rating, whatever it is, you're going to want to check the safety rating. There's other things you can also do, but those are the three primary things: their authority, their insurance, and their safety rating. But typically, you're not going to do all that research on a carrier before you actually have a conversation with them, because it's going to take an enormous amount of time, and trucks flow in and out of the market very quickly. So you're going to want to lock that truck up. And then once you lock that truck up, you can always do the vetting process. And of course, they're going to have to sign a broker carrier agreement and all that sort of stuff. But usually when you first get started, the biggest delay in getting the carrier approved is getting the broker shipper or the broker carrier contract back from the carrier, right? Because you're going to email them the list, or you're going to email them broker carrier agreement, and then they've got to fill it out and sign it and get it sent back to you. That's usually the biggest delay. And that can take minutes or it can take hours. It depends on how busy that dispatcher is, or how busy that operations person is, or how busy that owner operator is. And that can be sometimes the delay. But, in most cases, you're going to be able to set carriers up within 5 to 10 minutes, probably. You'll be able to go through that basic process and qualify and vet them. So I hope that helps. Clarification on the niches. So I teach a 4-part framework. You can do it by industry, like the produce industry, steel industry, building supplies. You can do it by equipment types like flatbed, van, refrigerated. You can do it by, again, commodity, which we talked about, which is kind of like the industry types. You can also do it by geography, or you can do a hybrid, right? A hybrid, which is what I did. I did van loads out of Northeast outbound, right? So those are some of the basic frameworks that I teach for finding your niche, developing your niche. All right, so I'm scrolling down. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so here's a question from Exotic Physiques. Is cold calling the best way to get freight? All right, so cold calling works, but it's not easy. Getting customers in any industry is not easy. But as a freight broker, right, there's really, you're very limited. It's somewhat limited as to whatever customer acquisition strategy you're going to use. So there's really only two primary strategies. You can push or you can pull. Now, push strategies is where you are doing outreach to your prospect. You're calling them via the phone, you're reaching out to them via LinkedIn Messenger, you're sending them an email, or you're going to their place of business. Those are some examples of you pushing, right? Those are outbound, right? Strategies. Cold calling, cold email, LinkedIn, face-to-face, door-to-door, right? So those are some strategies. There is no best, okay? All of them work, and all of them work differently for different people. Some people are more comfortable being face-to-face. Some people are more comfortable being over the phone. And some people really like to use LinkedIn, like myself. I don't think there's a best. I think you need to use all of those strategies. I teach what's called a multi-channel, multi-touch point strategy, where you're doing outreach through multi-channels versus just focusing on one. So that's what I teach as a part of my Freight Broker Sales Accelerator program. Again, the Freight Broker Sales Accelerator is sold out right now, right? You can't enroll in it. It's not open for enrollment. But if you guys want to get on the wait list, let me just see here really quick. If you want to get on the wait list for the Freight Broker Sales Accelerator, the next cohort, right, which is where I take that piece of my brain, everything about freight broker sales. I teach all my top strategies, systems, and tools on how to get customers using freight broker sales. You guys can get on the wait list. Just go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com/FBA or FBSA, or I think /wait list. And you can get on the wait list because I will release that again. We're in the middle of it. It's a 5-week coaching program where I work with you and I become your coach and mentor in that process and help teach you the entire program and then implement it throughout your business. That program, again, it's sold out right now, so you can enroll. But the only way you'll ever get a chance to get on that is to be on the wait list, right? So get on that wait list. I would strongly suggest that. I hope that answers your question. All right, so I'm scrolling down through. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, how to find shippers working with containers like drayage and intermodal. Well, you need to find people that are moving ocean freight or rail freight. Now that may not be industry specific. That may just be because, again, those are modes of transportation. So if you know somebody's a big importer or a big exporter, chances are they're doing port drayage, right? They're doing drayage at containers at the ports. So you would be searching for importers and exporters. You need to find big importers and exporters. So you would look for lists or associations or groups or trade shows or companies that focus in on import export. That would be a great place to start. Another place, you might want to look if you're looking for like rail containers, rail drayage, there's probably some associations around that, right? You can probably find rail shippers, intermodal shippers. There may be some associations in there. You can also focus in on industries that are more conducive to putting on rail, raw material, large, heavy loads, things like that. Again, you're going to have to dig one layer. You're going to have to peel the onion back a little bit further, a little bit further, depending upon your niche. So I hope those examples help. Maybe some of those tips will help you land some drayage leads, prospects. Nikki, we do not teach specifically drayage. That's a very niche. Niche. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of nuances associated with doing drayage in and out of ports or in and out of rail yards. So we do not teach that. We teach brokering, which the fundamentals of brokering are going to be the same, but drayage is a little bit different. So it takes a little bit of nuance in there. We have not put together a specialized course on that. If we did, it would be very niche though, but we don't have a specialized course just on drayage. All right, I'm scrolling. Just give me a minute. I'm looking for questions here. Okay, so the Unstoppable Mace. Hi, the FMCSA said that my application is incorrect. I listed freight forwarder. Is that correct? No, freight broker. There's two. Freight forwarder and freight broker are two different authorities. So you want your freight broker authority, not your freight forwarder authority. They are different. Okay. There's different requirements for each one, and they are different liabilities and legality. You're looking for your freight broker authority, not your freight forwarder authority. They are different. Here's a question from Thomas Barnes, who is the winner of the t-shirt today. One of the t-shirts. I have a brokerage. I'm the only agent with my company. Should I hire agents to help me build my brokerage? Okay. Well, Thomas, that depends upon you. There's really two primary models that you can use to scale your business. You can do an inside sales model where you hire employees, they work inside your organization, you teach, train, coach, mentor, manage them, and you teach them how to build the business, and they become employees inside, like an inside sales model, kind of like a CH Robinson or a Total Quality Logistics or a Coyote Logistics or an XPO. Those are examples of large inside sales models. The other model is the agent model, which is where a freight broker has their authority and they partner with independent contractors, independent agents, and those agents have their own customers and manage their own freight, and they work on a revenue share. So the agent business models has become a very popular model. I use that model to scale my business to over $80 million a year before I sold the company. And so the agent model can be a very powerful model. But again, when you break the agent model down, are you trying to hire experienced agents? Are you trying to take on new agents and then train them and teach them how to become profitable, right? So there's a lot that goes into that question. I think the agent model can be very powerful, but if you're too early in your business, the agent model can be challenging because you don't have the systems, you don't have the brand, you don't have the credit, you don't have the product ready to bring on to attract agents to you. So you may want to, if you're an early broker, young broker, you may want to build some of that up. Build your credit, build your revenue, build your bankroll, build your brand, build all that, build your systems up, right? Build your experience up. And then eventually you can bring on, you can start offering an agent type business model once you have a little bit more mature product. That's what I did. I did not bring on my first agent for 3 years. We operated an inside brokerage for 3 years, grew the company to over $6 million a year in sales. And then we launched our agent business model. Okay. So that was my experience. So I hope that helps. Ozan, there is no forms or that you need to fill out with the FMCSA in order to be an agent. Zero. Kim Courtney, can you recommend TMS software? I feel I've outgrown my current software, but I stay with it because I know how to use it. Okay. Well, I don't know what you're using, Kim, but here's what I could tell you. When I had my brokerage, I built my own software, but I also invested millions of dollars in building that software. When I say millions, I'm not joking, millions of dollars to build that software. So I do not recommend you build your own software. So personally, I don't have a lot of experience in using other people's software, but over the years, I've developed a relationship with a company that I think is very, very good. And if I were jumping into the industry today and I were going to become a freight broker today, if I were going to launch my brokerage, the software I would use would be at this link. It's Ascend TMS. Now, they have become a preferred vendor with Freight Broker Bootcamp. We do recommend them. And you can check out a special offer that they have at freightbrokerbootcamp.com/TMS. You can get a free trial. You don't even need to enter a credit card. You can get a free trial and you get access to their Freight Broker TMS. The reason why I like them, number one, Tim Hyam was a broker. He's the CEO of the company. He had a very successful brokerage. Then he built his own software, and he has I think he's got over 50 or 60,000 subscribers on that software. He has one of the largest TMSs out there. They're very advanced from a technological perspective. They're innovating and adding new things to make brokers more competitive, right, in the landscape. And so, I have a good relationship with them. They would be who I would highly recommend. There are tons of companies out there that offer TMS software. I'm not saying anything bad about any of them, but I just like Ascend TMS. They make a special offer for our members. So if you go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com/TMS, you guys can check that out. You can get a free account with no credit card, no nothing. And you can do a 30-day trial with that, and you can just check it out. And again, they have all the bells and whistles, everything you need. But what I like most is that they're focused on helping brokers to become more digital, right? Less manual, less paper, more digital, which allows you to be faster, leaner, more profitable. Okay. So that's one of the things that I like about those guys. Okay, so here's a question from Next Links. What should be the structure of your brokerage when starting new? Should there be different people to do different jobs? Well, when you first start, I mean, this is really a judgment call, right? There's no right or wrong answer here. But when you first start, and it's just you and a phone, you're going to be doing all the jobs. You're the chief cook and bottle washer, right? You're going to take out the trash. You're going to be making cold calls. You're going to be calling carriers off a load board. You're going to be setting up carriers. You're going to be doing dispatch calls. You're going to be doing check calls. You're going to be doing the invoicing. You're going to be doing the collection call. You're going to be doing everything. That's what having a small brokerage is about, learning that on your own. Now, as you decide to add people to your team, it really depends on what you choose to do. You can specialize each one of those jobs. So you could have a sales side of the brokerage and an operations side of the brokerage, and those could work together, but it requires more employees and requires more fixed overhead. Or you could hire brokers to work inside your organization, and they have their own customers and their own, and they can cover their own freight and do their own dispatch and do all that. And, very similar to an agent, but they're doing it on a W-2 basis. They're doing it inside as an employee. So, I've tried all of those different models. But economically, it can be challenging to try to divide out every role because you've got a lot of fixed overhead. So you have to be careful with that. I think as a new brokerage, what you should do is you should have less roles and teach the people how to do the full job. Right? Teach them from cradle to grave how to do the full job. So if you're the first broker and you go out and build a business that's doing 10,000 a month in profit, and then you decide to add another one, you teach them how to do what you just did. And then you bring them up to speed, and then you teach the next one to do the same thing you just did. And that's a great way to get started because it's the least complicated and the least complex, right? And the least risk. From there, later on, if you choose to scale your business where you want to break it out and specialize into operations and sales and administration and all these different departments, that's natural. I think that does have a tendency to happen over time, but it depends upon what your ultimate goals are. Sometimes the least complex answer is the best answer, right? And I think the one that I gave you is probably the most likely that you'll be able to pull off. Danelle, I'm a new broker, 2 months, paying for a load board, TMS, RMIS, and CRM, but I have yet to get a customer. What expenses should I cut, if any? Well, which one are you not using? Which one is providing you no value? You know, RMIS is not providing you any value right now, as far as I know, because they're doing what? Carrier onboarding, and you're not onboarding any carriers. So how much are you paying for that? I don't know. How many load boards are you paying for? I don't know. Find the things that you're not benefiting from. If you want to cut expense, cut where it's providing no value. Just logic, right? But my suggestion to you is you should be able to outsell this expense. There's not a lot of expense there. When you're talking about a load board and a TMS and RMIS and CRM, I mean, what are you talking about? You're talking about less than $1,000 a month for sure. Right. And if you're paying more than that, then you got an issue, right? You're paying too much, right? $1,000 a month, that's only, 5 loads a month. So you need to be able to outsell that. But if you do need to cut your expenses right now, cut the ones that are not providing you any value. The highest dollar value expenses that are not providing you value. You do not need RMIS right now because you're not onboarding any carriers. And if you did, you could onboard them one by one without having to pay them to do it. Right. So that's probably if I'm not mistaken, that's probably the one that makes the most sense. All right, guys. So listen, that's going to wrap it up for today. Here's what I'm going to suggest. Okay. Make sure you like the stream, no matter where you're at, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you're at, hit the like button, share the stream. That's the price of admission. You notice there's no charge. There wasn't some sort of paywall. I didn't ask you for your credit card to get into this training, even though I could. So that's the price of admission. Like, comment, and share the stream. If you guys are curious about becoming a freight broker or a freight agent and you need some help, you're trying to hobble together information on Google and Bing and YouTube and all these different platforms, and it's just not all coming together, check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. It's where we've put all that together. We've trained over 10,000 students. We offer a 60-day, 100% unconditional money-back guarantee if for any reason you're not happy. Check it out at freightbrokerbootcamp.com. And again, join me every Monday at noon for another Freight Broker Bootcamp Live where I do different trainings on different topics. And I truly appreciate you guys being here. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome week. And I'll see you next week.